Right, so here we have a little Mini Cooper S. Looks a little bit worse for wear. The roof's got a little bit of dirt down the gaps here, and it's pretty dirty anyway all over. There's a few stripes where somebody's tried to clean it with a jet washer. I'm hoping that these marks will come out, but a jet washer, when it gets close, you can see there, you know, it's obviously quite aggressive, and you know, that's what you get if you just try and clean it all with a jet washer, particularly when your distance is varying, which a lot of people that are inexperienced do that. The car generally is in quite good condition. It's just dirty. There's a little dent in this panel, but otherwise it's quite good. But look, here's the reason the water's getting in. Nothing to do with the roof. It's had steam on the roof, and then you don't realise that water gets in. The rubber looks all right where it shuts around the boot, but this all looks a bit of a mess. If I lift this up, because there's a couple of levers, I lift it up like that. This is what Minis do. You bring that back like that. That clips in there. I wonder if all your Mini people looking at that thinking, I didn't know I did that. That clips in there. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't either until recently. But you can see there where the rubber's compressed. The rubber comes round the back there, and then as it goes over this little hill, it's very compressed, and there's all grit and dirt there, which you can see there. Look, see the grit and dirt that's gone through. That means the water's run through and in there behind the panel, possibly gone right under there, and maybe even on the carpet underneath. So you don't even know that the car's got water in it. Some of the Minis do get water in this bit under here, where the battery is. This particular one is dry there. It doesn't mean that if he's parking it on a bit of a slope that the water's not finding its way inside the car somewhere else. So what people tend to do, they get all the steam and even get mould on the inside of the roof. If you look inside, you know, you're often sitting in there thinking, oh, it's a bit scuzzy above my head, a bit mouldy, and I can tell you from experience that that mould can make you ill. And of course they think, oh, the hood needs reproofing because it's all damp and mouldy. But of course the real reason is that this dirty rubbers and these little channels where water runs through is supposed to run away, and it gets stuck. Doesn't run away because it's full of crud and tree and bits and pieces and green and horrible, and then it runs into the car. It doesn't have to be a lot to cause your problem. You can get other problems, of course, with water getting in your car, as we know, you know, electronic problems and everything else. So what I would suggest, what we're going to do today is going to clean and reproof the roof, get all that dirt off, and we're going to put a decent quality 2-year coating on it so that it doesn't wear out. Another place is the roofs wear. When they're folding, you get these fold lines, all the grit and dirt that's in them causes it to wear. And, of course, you go to the roof people or the upholstery trimmer and they say, well, you know, it's broken, it needs to come off and to be stitched up and sewn or whatever on their machines. And then by the time you've got the labour involved in doing that, you end up being talked into getting a new roof, because obviously it does make sense. You're going to take the whole roof off and then stitch it up and try and fix it. You might as well put a new one on, involved with all the labour that's involved in that. So we're going to hopefully salvage this roof. We're going to clean all this guttering area out, and we're going to clean all the rubbers, and then we're going to put a neoprene conditioner on the rubbers that will make them all supple and nice and glossy, which I'll show you on the second part of this video. And then you'll see what a transformation we've managed to do, and hopefully this roof will last as long as the car. There you go. So hopefully I made sense there. What I mean by that is that, you know, a car roof should last as long as the car. So if it doesn't, that's because the roof's worn unnecessarily, because it's been dirty all its time, and then they need to have a new roof because the engine in the car's still going and it makes sense. The reason this car's running is it's been flat for a while. The guy's just left it. He's bought it out of the lockdown now. It's near the end of the lockdown, and he's decided that he wants to do something with it, probably before the lockdown finishes. And then he's got his car to go when the weather gets better. So there you go. So we're going to show you what we'll do with it and what it looks like when we're done. Right, so Mini Cooper Part 2. So those of you who were watching on the Part 1 would have seen a dirty green roof, and you know, I was showing the fold lines and where they wear and why they wear. This roof is all now nice and clean, and Yeah, so there was a few zigzags on it, but luckily they weren't too deep, and it was mainly the zigzag in the dirt. You've got a bit of wear where it folds, a little notchy bit there, but otherwise it's come up pretty well. You've still got a little zigzag here, but nothing serious. It must have been where the machine, when they jet washed it, whoever jet washed it before, went a bit too close. But otherwise, I don't think it's too bad. I think it's cleaned up, and hopefully it will last as long as the car does. We've also flushed the drains front and back, and then the rubbers are done with the neoprene conditioner. They've obviously been cleaned first, and we're talking all the way around the roof and the whole car, in actual fact, all the rubbers around the doors and everywhere. And you've got the neoprene conditioner goes all the way round there, and right under where that joins. And we've taken the little boot carpet out, tiny little boot carpet, and to dry that, because where that little bit of water was weeping over it, had got that wet, and not enough to worry about, but luckily we caught it in time. So there you have the roof. These rubbers, this has all been lifted, and then the rubbers have been cleaned, and they've all been done, and I can show you on the doors, and all the door seals are done. On the Minis, they tend to leak water around these ones, just around here as well, so that's a good job they did that. So a lovely little car, fantastic. So, you know, set to go again. Hopefully this roof will last the length for the life of the car, which we were talking about before. But yeah, you can see now it's nice and fluffy. I don't know if you can hear that, but no grit in it anymore, and it's got its colour back. So it's a 2-year nano coating we put on the roof, and I think it's well worth it, you know. Even if the guy's going to sell the car, you know, that adds to the service history. You can put that with the invoice and the guarantee with it. So, you know, if that was the case, he was selling it in a couple of years' time, he can show that he's looked after the roof. People are looking for cars with good roofs. You know, I'm just talking about history and all that. You know, you don't want to buy a car where you're going to own it a year or two and have to put a new roof on it. One of these roofs can be anywhere between £1,000 and £2,000 for a pattern one. So ideally, it makes more sense to look after it. Just to give you an idea what they've spent, it's 332 plus another 120 to do the rubbers and the drain flush. So, and that's all the rubbers. We've done the doors and all of that stuff. You know, so these bits here and even they've had the drains flushed. There's drains inside here. Most people don't know that, but they've been flushed with a drain cleaner and all these rubbers, and, you know, it's like a new roof again. So there you go. So that will give you an idea of what you can expect when you bring your Mini to new again. There you have it.